How are you today? I am going to show you one of my favorite keto recipes. It's a fat bomb, or it could be a keto dessert, whichever way you want to look at it. So if you are tuning in live, if you could put a 1 in the comments, and if you are catching a replay, go ahead and put a 2 in the comments. And if you just want to put in there where you're tuning in from, that would be great. So I'm coming to you from Jacksonville. It was very cold this morning, about 37 degrees, but it warmed up and it was probably high 60s by the time afternoon hit. So that was awesome. So like I said, I'm going to show you one of my favorite keto desserts. It's a peanut butter chocolate bonbon. It's a super simple recipe, so hopefully you can kind of see it here. So you start off with... Well, I'm actually going to double the recipe because I like to make it and freeze it and then keep it in the freezer for when I want them. So I like to use fat bombs when I'm feeling hungry. That means I typically have not had enough fat in the day. So the recipe the doubled recipe is a half a cup of the natural peanut butter. So that's the no sugar added. I like to get the one that's freshly ground from like Earth Fare or Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. Those type of stores, just so that it doesn't have the oil sitting on the top. That kind of grosses me out. So that's what I like to use. Then you add in 5 tablespoons of any keto sweetener. So the one that I'm using is called Swerve. It's the confectioner's variety. So that's this. You can also use monk fruit, and there's some other ones. This is my favorite. The monk fruit, if I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but it's a little too sweet for my liking, but I know a ton of people love it. It's just not my favorite. So the next thing is 4 tablespoons of almond flour. So if you're watching your macros with keto, you definitely want to check the almond flour out, because the macros are very different with different almond flours. The carbs can be a lot higher in some than others. So if that's something that's important to you, make sure you check that out. I am using just the Aldi's almond flour, and this has only 1 carb. So it's a great choice. And that's for 2 tablespoons. So for the almond flour itself, it only has, let's see, 2 carbs in the whole recipe. And then we're going to make about 20 different chocolate peanut butter bonbons. So then you want to add a splash of vanilla. I never measure it, so it's about a teaspoon. And then that's it. All you got to do is mix it up. Once it's all blended, you'll be able to tell like all the stuff is kind of sticking together. Then you can make the peanut butter balls. Like I said, I'm doubling the recipe, so it's going to give you about 20 of them. This is like one of the simplest keto desserts that you can make. It's super quick. It's not time consuming. The ingredients are simple. You don't have to bake it. So it's really a good option. So I make this as needed. I made it for Christmas. I definitely don't have desserts every day, but like I said, if I'm feeling hungry, I'll have one, or if I'm just need something sweet, it's a good option because it has, healthy fats in it. So once you get all of this mixed up, then you're just going to make the balls. And it's going to go in the freezer for a half an hour to an hour. So I just scoop out how much I want, roll it together, and put it in a ball. So I don't know if you can see this, but I put it right on a plate with some parchment paper. I put all 20 of them on there and then just stick it in the freezer. And then the last step of making these is to melt a half a cup of sugar-free chocolate chips. A lot of people use the Lily's. I like to use the Walmart brand because it's a little bit cheaper. So they taste great. They're stevia sweetened, and You use a half a cup of the chocolate chips and 3 teaspoons of the MCT oil, and then you just put it in the microwave, melt it. I usually melt it for 20 to 30-second increments, and you got to make sure you stir it each time because a lot of times it doesn't look like it melted, but it is melted. So make sure you mix it up. If you need to warm it up a little bit longer, and just put it back in and dip each one, and there's your chocolate bonbons. So like I said, it's super simple. I love this keto recipe. And if you didn't catch it, just send me a message. I'll be happy to send it over. Don't forget to put if you are watching it live or if you're catching the replay and where you're tuning in from. If you got any value from this or you have friends and family doing keto, feel free to share this video. Have a great night. Bye.